Okay, so we are now, what, I think it's like the third or fourth, I think it's probably the fourth part to this speed painting, which has not been sped up, because if I sped it up, I'd be going too fast for people to catch what I'm doing. Okay, so I've done that. Right, I was putting, this girl's going to put some pantyhose on her. So, funny thing about pantyhose, depending on the type, it can be very, very light absorbent. It's an odd material. So I'm going to use a very dark color. Ideally, I use the color that is going to be most predominant over the material. So this way I don't have to revisit areas too much. It gets kind of tiresome. There we go. I shouldn't scribble. I should just try to do it in as few big fat strokes as I can. Okay, so there's that. When I stamp foot pedal, I got two foot pedals underneath my feet. There's one on the left and one on the right. And one on the left makes my brush erase things. So if I push that down there, see, I can erase things. So normally if I draw, it draws. If I hold it down, it will erase. Now the other pedal, what this does is this switches me between drawing opaque and drawing light. So, kind of handy having two foot pedals. All right. Now, I think what I want to do there, I just want to adjust that length. I'm going to pick the shadow color, go for my 30% brush, and just this pantyhose. Just make it show through. Not quite the desired effect. Okay. Okay, that's more like it. It's the same deal. I'm going to give it one pass over here, and then a second pass there. That shows where the flesh shows through. And then I can take a black, use a 30% again. 30% as in 30% opaque. So at any given time I'm always painting at either 100% or 30%. Because if I need more, I simply pass over the area once, twice, 3 times. That's how I work with gradations. But 30% is something that gives me a gradate. It lets me change things fast enough, but not. It gives me also enough control between gradations that it's not so slow. Because if you use something like an airbrush that is, too faint, you get very muddy colors. So I'm looking for something that is a bit more punchy. I do it in fewer. I like the banding. In fact, I'm going for the banded look. What color are the socks going to be? I vote white socks, just to appease some bizarre urge right now. Okay, because I just want to see white socks. And I have to trim down the silhouette here. Okay. And how far are the white socks going to go down? I think I'm going to have them go all the way down into the boot. I should do this in fewer, larger strokes. Just carefully. That's what I love about this 6D pen, is I can just angle and orient it to get the stroke of just the right width. They made nice hardware actually for this pen. It's just the software was incomplete. It only gives it a twist reading that is partially useful. It requires additional hacking to make it fully useful. What would be nice is if the pen actually gave a reading for how much surface area was in contact with the tablet, which is what my hack DLL does. It takes the twists, it takes the angle, it takes all the different readings off of the pen, and it generates an actual useful number to tell how much surface contact this thing is making. So now I can I'm going to use a gray. I want a slightly saturated gray, but since the light is warm, I have to use a cooler gray. I'm going to use a 30% again. I'm only looking at the top edge. I don't care that the bottom edge is falling out. And the Wacom people didn't make very accurate technology, so you can see it's blobbing a bit. I even had to put a noise rejection filter into the thing, in my DLL. So for every time they do something wrong, they screw something up, it costs me several weeks to have to fix. Make it just right. Make it work the way it was supposed to work. So that's why I'm taking so many stabs at them. Sometimes I wonder if they actually use their own technology. God. So what I've done is I've cast this entire area here into shadow. Let's do one more pass. I'm only looking at the top edge. There we go. Don't scribble, just orient the brush carefully, and then I can trim it. And then I can put in one more. That's too strong. Let me use the 30%. And then I can hit it a few times with the soft one. There we are. Then I can do the 30% on the back of the leg as well to indicate enclosure. There we are. Okay, and then here where it goes into the boot, another 30% stroke. 30%, 30%. Let's grab the white, 30% that, 30%, 30%, and then I can trim it. There. In the situation where if you actually had a background, then you'd have to trim using the background color, or do it on a separate layer. In my case, I'm doing everything on one layer just because I'm a masochist. Alright. Moving on. You see, it's just the same process all over this thing. So what color do I want the boots? Red, black, orange, green. I don't want to use too many colors. I'm going to go for black. And with this is going to go into another episode, to another segment.